when I was working retail at the age of 24, I just knew that wasn't the way I wanted to live my life forever. It took me about 24 months to write that because I was writing it all around the world, and I wanted to write each chapter of the book in a different country. But it's full of just really, really helpful information and my journey, what you need to know to actually stay safe in financial market. Golden rule to begin with is the maximum you should start with is £1,000. where you're basically doing 5 days worth of coaching and mentoring. Hello everybody, my name is Lewis.
And I'm Sophie.
And on today's episode, we are going to be looking at who are Star Trading, why do we exist, and why you should be listening to us.
This is our brand new podcast. How
it's
exciting!
Our brand new podcast. Yeah, very exciting. Yeah, long time coming. So it's good to finally be here.
Yeah, I'm very excited. So we are starting a podcast because I'm new to Star Trading. I'm a new student. I've been following you for a while, since we met over a year ago.
Funny enough, yeah, I think it was about 18 months ago, and we were both guests on a different podcast.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah,
it was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
And yeah, I've just started the course, so we're going to talk about that in a minute. But for you, can you do an introduction to everyone of who are you, what is Star Trading, and how did it begin?
Sure. So my name is Lewis. I'm 34 years old. I recently got married in June. Not that you need to know that, but I thought I'd throw it in anyway. And I've been trading financial markets now for over 10 years, which makes me feel very, very old. Really does make me feel very, very old. And the journey I kind of went on when I was working retail at the age of 24, I just knew that wasn't the way I wanted to live my life forever. So I looked at my boss and I looked at my boss's boss and I thought, you're not earning that much money and you've got a heck of a lot of stress. That's not what I want for me. And when I do look into my future, I saw kids, not that they've happened yet. So I decided that I was going to look for something else. And I discovered this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad by a guy called Robert Kiyosaki. Read that book and then found myself on a seminar that they would put on in London. It was in the Bloomsbury Hotel in Tottenham Court Road. And so I went there. Long story short, I ended up parting with half my annual salary on a credit card and on a personal loan, which was about 15.8% interest.
Ooh.
I know, crazy, right? But led me to where I am now. So 7 months after being on that training, I left my job and started traveling the world. And I could see a future where when I have kids, I was going to be able to spend time with them, which was kind of my big goal. I always thought it was weird that we give the best of ourselves to a job and then the worst of us gets given to the people we actually love. And the people at our jobs don't really care about us that much, if they're honest. So yeah, that's why I always wanted to look for something different. And I was very, very thankful that I found trading. And it kind of just built from there over the years. I started teaching for Rich Dad Education and was one of their mentors around the world.
Did you meet the man himself?
I met the man himself.
What's he like?
Yeah, he's actually quite a nice guy. He's actually very polite.
Yeah. He's
taller than you think he is. And yeah. I mean, it wasn't a long conversation, if I'm honest, but I did meet the man, and yeah, I was very impressed. Is maybe starstruck is the right word? I don't know.
He's done well, hasn't he?
He's done very well for himself. Yeah. That boy from Hawaii, done good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was that was actually in Cape Town. I was speaking on stage in Cape Town, and he was speaking there as well, and that's where I got to meet him backstage. Lovely man. Yeah.
So you replaced your income through trading?
Yes.
And then how did Star Trading come about?
So I'm going to step back for a second. So I didn't actually replace my income straight away. So I made enough income from my trading that I could leave my job. And then I continued to grow that income over time. I just was desperate to get out of the job. And what I actually advise most of my students now is wait a bit longer, because you can grow your account quicker. You've got more flexibility, more freedom, and it takes emotional pressure off of your trading. So roll on a few years from the point that I left my job to about 4 years ago now, I had this big idea that I had learned what I'd learned from Rich Dad Education. I'd developed my own trading style around that, which was simpler. It was actually quicker to implement as well, so it only takes about 30 minutes a day. And I wanted to teach other people that in a different way than I have been. For my own personal development, my own growth, I wanted to set my own company. It's always kind of been a dream of mine to do that so I could impact people fully being myself and fully under my own steam. So that is kind of where Star Trading was built from. So originally it was just an ebook, which is still available. People can actually read that. I wrote that. It took me about 24 months to write that because I was writing it all around the world, and I wanted to write each chapter of the book in a different country. It was absolutely mad, and that's why it took quite so long. But it's full of just really, really helpful information and my journey and what you need to know to actually stay safe in financial markets, because we tend to help people who've never tried trading before. We do have students who've tried trading before and haven't made a success of it, and then they come to us and then they start being successful. So it was birthed very much out of the idea of just wanting to help other people, which has always been the core of me from being 16 years old. I realised that's what I wanted to do.
That is amazing. So how does STARTrading work? You've got a book, you've got a course.
Yeah, we've got a book, we've got free courses that we do. We've got really, I mean, people can invest anywhere 20,000 all the way down to £20 with us in terms of education, and obviously free with some of our masterclasses. We do 5-day challenges as well, which people can join, and then we do mentorships. So mentorships is what you've joined and started your journey, and that's really where we see people make the most progress in the quickest period of time.
Come on.
Yeah.
So I joined because I think if everyone hears about trading, everyone should want to do it, right?
Yeah.
Because you can make really good returns, you can make really good money, but there's this kind of credibility issue maybe, or a slight dodginess that people feel. And I think it's because you can lose loads of money, can't you?
Yeah, if you're doing it incorrectly, 100%. Yeah.
So the three main reasons I signed up with you was, one, trust and credibility, because like, you're not doing it to make yourself rich. You're trying to help other people learn new skills, aren't you?
Yeah.
And the second one was because you emphasised low risk. You were like, we literally risk 1% of our account. We're keeping it as low as possible.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. You can't lose.
Yeah.
You just can't lose.
Yeah.
And the third reason was compound interest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is just the best thing in the world.
The eighth wonder of the world, according to Einstein, for very good reason.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal.
Yeah. So I've signed up to the 6-month mentorship.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited. So what can I expect in the first couple of weeks?
So in the first couple of weeks, we need to find out who you are a little bit. So the first call you'll have will be with our head mentor, a guy called Josh Jones. And he, first of all, he's a brilliant trader. Second of all, he's an absolutely fantastic teacher. I actually poached him. Yeah,
Did you?
I did. I poached him from being an actual teacher in normal schools. So I poached him, paid him more than he was getting paid, and gave him a load of flexibility and freedom to do his trading and also pass on the skill set that he learned from us. So we trained him up. Initially he was a student and now he's a successful trader and our head mentor. So your first session will be with him, and we'll set you up on all of our recorded content, all of our resources there. He'll find out a little bit about you, what your trading style is. We have like a whole personality test thing as well. Do you remember doing the personality test?
Yes.
What was your...
Can you guess?
Driver?
Yes.
There we go. Yeah.
What does that mean?
So driver, it says 4. So there's driver, there's amiable, there's expressive, and then there is analytical. How could I forget the analyticals? It's probably the one I'm the least of.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be good at maths in order to be a successful trader, because I was in the special class for maths and English actually, thinking about it. So we find out about your personality style, because that helps us actually coach you and mentor you, because you'll have natural strengths and weaknesses. So as a driver, you are probably quite happy to take risks. You will press the button maybe before you should. You like to win. You don't like to lose, and you like to get things done very quickly. So you want to sometimes speed up the learning journey quicker than it's meant to happen. You'll get into trades when maybe you shouldn't, and you won't actually stick to the criteria fully. And so there's all these elements in the different personality styles that we like to be aware of when we're mentoring people, because it means we can tailor some of our training to you. So that's kind of what happens in the first week. Then you go on to the set of about 3 weeks where we're building some foundations, and then after we've built those foundations, which are theoretical, because we need to understand the concepts of how markets move and what's happening, we then start implementing the first strategy. So we'll start taking those components that we've learned and start applying it live into the market. And then after that, it's repeat. So we're starting to master that process over and over again. And that process allows you to create confidence, it allows you to create consistency, and that's what makes you a successful trader.
Yes, I can't wait.
Yeah.
What are your top tips for me then going into this?
Top tips. Number 1, I would say be coachable, be teachable. I think that's the best thing. If you aren't following our guidance, and we're not legally giving financial advice, but we're teaching you a skill set. So we know what works on the skill set. We know how to help you master that skill set. So a lot of that comes down to refinement. So each week you'll be given things to refine, work on those things. Don't go off-piste. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. That's the number 1. So number 1, don't try and reinvent the wheel. Learn our wheel first and follow the guidance that we give you. So that's probably top tip number 1. Top tip number 2 is probably follow the process. So we are very methodical. We are very, very methodical. This is what happens at this stage, this stage, this stage. So follow the process and trust the process. That's probably the best way to go. And that includes not rushing through. So sometimes people will watch all of our recorded content in week one, and that is just not a good way to go. Your brain can't absorb the information. It's too much to take on. And I think that's partly why a lot of people struggle to master trading, is because they're just out in the big bad world on YouTube, on forums and things like that, and they are gathering all this information, but they don't know how to apply it. So that kind of leads me on to my third top tip, which is apply quickly and fail forward. Thankfully, the way that we teach students, failing forward means testing. It doesn't mean actually trading with live money. So do as much of that as you possibly can, as quickly as you can. And that's what's going to help you master the skill set super quick. Also, it's all about confidence with your trading. So we need to have confidence in that system, confidence in that structure. So if you're following the STARTrading method step by step, that's naturally going to grow.
Yeah. You mentioned going off piste. Have you had students do that? And you're
Of
just
course,
like, no, come back to me.
Yeah, we have that happen all the time. And I would say it probably happens more with students who have got some prior trading experience, because they've kind of learned some bad habits. And sometimes they think they know best. And I very often have to, well, not very often, because most of our students are pretty good and pretty coachable, but sometimes you have to politely remind them that the reason they've come to you is because they haven't made it work yet. So they need to kind of put their ego at the door, check their ego at the door. There's a phrase in there somewhere. Check their ego at the door, and then it is a humbling experience, and you have to learn our way of doing it, because that's what's made countless of people all over the world successfully profitable as traders. So whatever people have learned before hasn't worked for them. There may be elements of it which are good, but I do think people are better off kind of pretending they haven't learned anything before and then starting afresh.
That's hard, isn't it?
It's very hard. It's very hard.
Thank you for all of that. I can't wait to get started, and I'll update you next week. I've got a listener's question for you.
Yes.
Ready? So they're saying, how much money should I start with?
Really good question. Now, some of our students are very, very wealthy. Some of our students don't have a lot of capital to begin with. What we have as a kind of golden rule to begin with is the maximum you should start with is £1,000, because in your early days, more than likely you're going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We all have that as our learning process. And that's a good thing, because it means you're not going to make that mistake again once you've made the bad one. So when we do that, £1,000 to begin with, that's just in the start. When you're confident and you've got the skill set and you know what you're doing, then we can increase from there. But again, as the maximum, as the minimum, you're probably looking at about £300. We would probably suggest about £500 though as a minimum, but you can start with less. But no matter how much you have, no more than 1,000. It's really, really important to us.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. We're going to go on to our snack surprise segment in a minute, which I'm so excited about.
I am.
But before that, I think I came back round to you after seeing you on Instagram and just you're popping up to this event you did called Forex In 5, which is free. Oh no, it was about £10, wasn't it?
It was then. It's about £20 now, but time will tell what the price will be.
Inflation.
Inflation. What can you do?
But it was. Do you want to tell everyone a bit about that, because I found that super interesting?
Yeah. So Forex In 5 is our kind of flagship introductory event. It is a lot of work on our side, because we are basically doing 5 days worth of coaching and mentoring with a larger group of people. So we cap our spaces, but it's 5 nights, Monday to Friday. The goal is by the end of those 5 nights, we'll actually place live trades with you. So you know how to place live trades, you know how to safely enter the market, safely exit the market. We do that with our students. So every single night there's coaching, there's mentorship. You can win bonus one-to-one mentorship sessions throughout the week as well. The way that we run those though is we have one-to-one mentorship session, but everyone's welcome to come and observe, because it's still a really good learning process. So we start on day one, we look at what even are markets, what are charts, and we basically go through the STARTrading methodology, which was featured in Bloomberg because it's data driven and it proves people to be successful traders. So that's the week, is focusing on the STARTrading method, which is chart mastery number 1. Number 2 is risk mastery, so protecting our money, protecting our capital, making sure we're not risking too much, we're being low risk, which is how we can guarantee that our students will never blow an entire account, they'll never lose all their money, because we use correct risk principles. Number 3 is strategy mastery. So once we understand the markets, what are the components, what are the movements, what are the patterns we need to see to actually enable us to enter the market in a safe way. The fourth one is mindset mastery, because if you've not got this sorted, it's going to be a mess. It just is. So we want to make sure that we are managing our mindset, we're mastering our mindset, and we kind of weave that in through the week. We do look a lot at compound interest. And how it is that you can turn a small amount of capital into a large amount of capital, and how you can actually double your capital in as little as a 12-month period, and then even improve beyond that as well. And then on the Friday we look at optimization, and we look at how we actually place live trades.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's a brilliant
and
week.
it's kind of on every couple of months, is that right?
So we've now put it every month, just because we had a lot of people wanting to come to them, so we had to, because we're doing so much involvement with people, we've now got to put them on every single month.
Amazing. Well, basically have a look at the show notes, and we'll put the link in for the next one, and then you can join in. And it's great value. It's seriously good value. I think you're not charging enough.
Oh, I know.
Are you ready for the snack surprise segment?
I am massively excited.
Yes. Okay, so the reason we're doing this is because Lewis likes you like Chinese food very passionately.
I think the word "like" is definitely underselling.
Okay, you had your crisp advent calendar. You
it's
love
an obsession.
A snack. And I'm half Belgian, so my dream is to open a chocolate shop. Can people please invest and get together with me, because I really want to do that. So we're just going to surprise each other with snacks. Should I go first?
Go on.
Okay, you ready for a snack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, shall I do this?
Shall I just put it in front of you on the desk? Okay. Right.
I hear packets.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, wow.
What is it, Lewis?
This is maple pigs in blankets.
Yes.
Crisps. So obviously I'm already a fan.
Yeah. So we've had Christmas.
Yeah.
What's your surprise on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, considering Christmas has already happened, I'm quite surprised that you managed to still get a bag of these. So I'm going to say a solid 6 out of 10 for surprise. Okay. I mean, I was expecting crisps at some point. Yeah. So I can't be too too surprised. Yeah.
Okay, give them a taste.
Right, you ready for the ASMR?
ASMR. I'm really sorry if you're like me, you just don't want to hear this at all. No. Just turn the podcast off right now. He's sniffing it.
It's like a fine bouquet of wine.
Can I smell it?
It does smell a little bit porky.
Yeah, salty.
Salty, meaty. Oh, actually that smelled like crackling. That's quite nice. I do love a pork scratching. There might be.
In a later week,
very good.
Maybe I'll bring you some pork
That'd be very good.
Who does this?
I'm not getting much maple.
Oh no.
I'm not getting much pig. Definitely not getting blanket.
What does it taste like?
Like just a smoky bacon.
Okay,
a normal smoky bacon.
Okay.
Delicious.
Okay.
Taste it. It is tasty. It is moreish.
Okay, how many out of 10?
I'm going to say an 8 out of 10 for them.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Brilliant.
6 plus 8, 14.
I'm going to enjoy those off camera later.
Yeah.
Would you like your first snack?
Yes, please.
Right, I need to ask you right now. I'm not going to ask you. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to go straight in with.
Okay, I'm going to close my eyes.
Yeah, right.
The anticipation.
I'm going to go straight in with a little bit of my humour. So, here you go.
Oh, after dinner willies.
Yes.
Yay!
You've heard of after dinner 8s or after 8s? That's what they're called. After 8s.
Plain chocolate willies with mint. Okay. I hate mint.
Oh no! You didn't tell me you didn't like.
No, I didn't tell you. Okay, I'm going to try it.
I want one as well, to be honest.
You can have them. Should we both have a willy?
We should both have a willy.
All right.
Oh, they're a bit messy, aren't they? They've been jiggled about in that box. Right.
If you're listening, I have a green box which reminds me of After 8s, but it's called After Dinner.
And what do the chocolates remind you of?
A small brown willy. Okay.
No, I can't say who, can I?
It smells minty.
It's quite minty.
Okay, all right, I'll try it for the interest of the podcast.
I thought it was meant to be fondant in them.
I'm glad there isn't. Or is it in them?
I think it's quite in the other part. No, nothing there. No.
Do you know what? This is not as bad as I thought. Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to eat the whole thing.
So how unexpected is it out of 10?
10.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wouldn't ever have chosen that. Taste is a 1 because it's got mint in it.
But you say it's not as bad as you were expecting.
Well, that's why I've given it a 1.
Well, I'm very happy to take the chocolate willies home.
Okay, well, thank you for that. I hope you've enjoyed our first ever podcast. Have you enjoyed it, Lewis?
Oh, it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us. If you'd like to join us for more trading knowledge and info, and also some random snackology, then we'd love to see you. Thank you very much.